Hi, this is Radia again, and right now I'm going to talk about the idea or the concept of why current trends have proven that Bollywood films are not doing well anymore, that the whole industry is on the verge of collapse and everything. So let's dig into the facts from reality and see uh, what are the reasons behind this kind of failure, the kind of failure that has been going on for the past almost decade in Bollywood. These are not just my personal opinions, these are obviously information that I have found, that I have, these are based on research basically, okay? But maybe one point out of my 10 point may be personal, okay, but not like all of them. All right. Okay, so yeah, why Bollywood is failing now? um, well, nepotism has driven out true and promising talent. Well, maybe you should know that there is an article, and I'm going to post the link of that article from a very reliable online Indian portal. I'm going to put it on my comment box to prove to you that this is like reliable information. There was a time around 2008, 2009. Okay, there was a time when every day, not month or year, every day 2000 young men and women would come into Mumbai from different parts of India, and they all come from supposedly rich and well off and educated families, and they all harbored the dream of becoming a Bollywood actor, getting job over there in the industry. So it is very obvious what kind of tremendous competition and pressure had developed in the past 1 or 2 decades upon all these people who were struggling, and obviously all of them did not get work or even the work that they dreamt of or desired. So basically it comes back to one point, that nepotism has driven out true and promising talent. I will not mention names of stars who are like star kids. We all know who they are. But what happens with the star kids is that their families have good equation with the producer of the film. For example, Karan Johar, okay, with the producer of the film, they have good social equation relation. However, that is their own personal equation. It will not work in cinema. It will not bring, the outcome or the result in terms of how the audience relates to the star. Because let's look at facts. Shah Rukh Khan, he is not a star kid. He's number one. He still is. Most of the most successful actresses like Juhi Chawla, Aishwarya Rai, Madhuri Dixit, Sridevi Kapoor, they were not, and they are not star kids. So basically nepotism has driven out true and promising talent. Basically that's my main point. Okay. And another obvious point is the fact that because of OTT, like Netflix and other platforms like Netflix have emerged, but Netflix is still the most popular one. So if a movie is released in Netflix, it is released in Netflix. But sometimes what they do is that they release a movie in the theater, and after just a couple of months, it is released on Netflix. So the audience is very much, they're very smart, and they're very much aware of the fact that, okay, I'm not gonna spend my money on going to a theater and watching this film, because I know I'll have to wait for 1.5 months and it will be available on Netflix. So yeah, basically because of OTT like Netflix, the typical, the way people used to storm the theaters during the 90s, it just does not work any longer like that. Okay, because people can enjoy being a star themselves by using Facebook and YouTube, and also watch interesting things over there, do interesting things over there, express themselves over there. They are so hooked onto Facebook and YouTube that they will not even watch a movie online, so even forget about going to the theater. This is really a reality. Like, I used to be such a humongous fan, such a huge fan of Hindi movies, but then when Facebook, and when YouTube came, and then even when Facebook and YouTube when it was like the initial stage of using Facebook and YouTube, we were not so hooked onto it, because it was after many years that Facebook and YouTube, it evolved and they reformed, and they have like so many different kinds of options available. And YouTube is free, Facebook is free. I don't have to pay beyond my internet bill to use Facebook or YouTube and just do so many things. So why should I walk, or pay a Uber, or pay my car, or whatever, and go to a theater and then again pay a ticket money to buy a ticket and watch a movie? Why should I do that? Makes complete sense, right? Anyways, but even though there are still people who go to the theater, but the problem is the South Indian films are doing much better now. So people are like, the South Indian people used to watch Hindi movies, and they used to really be fan of Hindi movies and really be hooked onto Hindi movies. They don't do it anymore. Even the Mumbai based audience are watching South Indian movies now. So basically the South Indian movies have captured a huge portion of the so-called Bollywood market. All right. Another point is repetitive storytelling. I do not want to mention names of films. There is no need for me to malign anyone. But obviously, even during the 90s, when we used to watch movies, for example, a Shah Rukh Khan movie like Bazigar, I would be in love with that movie, but I would still feel that it's very similar to a previous Amitabh Bachchan movie with the same concept of taking revenge and whatnot. Even the 90s movies were repetitive. It was like, oh, there will be like some song and dance and a love story and a villain and a hero. But the problem is that it has become too repetitive now. It's like they try to always pour the old wine in new bottle all the time. They are just lacking ideas. They are just lacking the strength to make movies with new formulas. They just don't do it because they don't want to take the risk. But if you don't take risk, how can you move forward? That's the problem. They're stuck over there. It's like a cycle. Okay, films released mostly in multiplexes target not the masses but a certain class. In Bangladesh also, I never really went inside a typical movie cinema theater to watch a movie. I've always, went to the multiplexes. Here is the problem. When you release movies only for the multiplexes, you are targeting a very 1% or 1.5% of the entire movie-going population, depriving or forgetting or minusing the rest of them. So it does not favor you in terms of business either, So yeah, that's the problem. The biggest stars, another point, my next point, the biggest stars, I don't want to mention their names, we all know who they are. The biggest stars charge humongous fees, not compatible anymore. Some famous movie maker, most probably Karan Johar, just made a remark like some of the biggest stars, they want 35 crore rupees fees for one movie, whereas they are totally incapable of bringing 3.5 crore rupees on the first day. When the movie releases, the income of the first day is not even 3.5 crores. So what is the realistic way of looking at it? What's the compatibility? Why are they charging so much? They're just charging, and they're just charging like that. It is totally out of touch with reality. Okay, recent trend of suicides among actors like Gia Khan and Sushant Singh Rajput have brought Bollywood under a dark cloud. Yes, Bollywood is going through some kind of an image crisis, because there have been suicides in the 90s and 80s also. Do not want to mention the names here, but the recent suicides like Gia Khan and Sushant Singh Rajput have raised many questions. For example, Sushant Singh Rajput, he committed suicide, whether he had bipolar disorder or not, let's not get into that. But most of the people have argued, and they have maligned and criticized people like Karan Johar for nepotism, for only giving chance to star kids and not helping out struggling actors, or actors like Sushant who were not from a film family. Many things were said. This is one aspect of it. And when you look at Gia Khan's case, Well, she was presumably pregnant, and she had a boyfriend, and she had a broken relationship with him, and she had a failing career. However, this raises questions about what kind of treatment actresses and wannabe actresses get in Mumbai when they're over there struggling and working. Of course, there is the big controversy about casting couch. Not going to get into that. That's not my topic. But basically, Bollywood is going through a very tremendous image crisis. So obviously, someone with some kind of moral, why would they want to go and pay, buy a ticket and pay Bollywood and watch a movie when they are not treating their stars with the due respect and honor that they deserve? And because of that, they are like sometimes going to extreme lengths like committing suicides. Okay, next point. They are remaking South Indian or Hollywood movies, lacking originality. Of course, I mean, if you lack originality, you're going to remake movies. You're remaking movies means you're lacking originality. So I rather watch the South Indian original movie or the Hollywood original movie. Why should I watch the Bollywood movie, right? Simple as that. Okay, my last point is a very interesting point, and I think this is probably the main reason why Bollywood is failing. Okay, basically, filmmakers are looking at this whole thing. Filmmakers think of it now only as business, lacking the passion that past movie makers used to have. Past movie makers, even people like Karan Johar, Yash Chopra and Abbas Mustan, these people, they were so good in their job, basically. And right now, we see corporates coming and dominating Bollywood. They are only thinking about recovering the cost. They are not genuine or real filmmakers, they're businessmen. So this really creates confusion between the producer and the director and whatnot. So yeah, I think I've said enough. And if you listen to it again and again, you'll understand what I'm trying to say. Basically, I do not have good reason to believe that Bollywood can turn around, because there are just too many factors that are negatively affecting Bollywood, and this trend has been only aggravating with time. So I don't believe Bollywood can turn around, but there are some people who are investing in Bollywood, like new filmmakers. They are still optimistic and positive. Well, good luck to them. And yeah, thanks for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.